Surprisingly, there is a good amount of problems that you're going to encounter when you're driving for food delivery apps. I started really my side hustle in 2015. I'm coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I appreciate you being in the video today, but starting in this whole gig economy, specifically today, of course, talking about the food delivery space. There's problems before, even before you start making a delivery. There's problems before you make the delivery. Of course, there's problems during the delivery. And there's even problems after the delivery. That's why in this video, I'm going to take that experience, driving on really most every single and even discontinued food delivery apps, talking to other drivers like you, talking to our community here. And I've really summarized the most common and some of the biggest problems that you're going to encounter driving on these apps here. So again, I appreciate you being in the video today. This video is intending to be your one-stop shop to answer, again, some of the most common questions. And in fact, there'll be time codes linked down below in the description to each and every one of these questions. And I'm going to tell you there's a lot. Well, not really questions, problems, I should say. And yeah, there's going to be a lot. So buckle in, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let me know where you're watching from, by the way, in the live chat or in the comment section. Again, I'm coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But hey, my job here, my entire job on the channel is to help make you money. I help you in the gig economy. It is making money. It's with a side hustle if you're doing this part-time, because really half of gig workers have a 9-to-5. Let me know, are you doing this as a side hustle or a full-time hustle? I have done this as a side hustle, chipping away a couple of hours a week, and there's no wrong way. If you do this as a side hustle or a full-time hustle, that's fine. I respect that. And I've also done this with the 35+ hour weeks full time. I've driven here in Pittsburgh. I've driven in San Diego. I've driven through different marketplaces, just seeing what the pulse is with this gig economy. But again, if you're watching this, I started in 2015. I started years ago. I've seen rate changes. I've seen different developments. I've seen, problems. If you're watching this video, rest assured that this is someone that didn't just sign up yesterday. I've been doing this for a while, again, really the whole gambit of driving. So let me know where you're watching from. Kayed, I see it in here. Daniel, I appreciate you being here as well. My twin brother, Matt, make sure to check out his channel, your driver team, Matt, as well. Didi, one of our team VIPs, if you want to gain access to exclusive content, custom badges that you won't see anywhere else on the internet, emotes, and other ways to stand out in the comments and in the live chat. Definitely click the join button down below. If you can't see that, you're on mobile, jump over to a computer. So with that being said, we're just going to jump right into it. And what I've done is, again, I've compiled some of the biggest problems. And it doesn't matter really what app you're driving for. It can be Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I've driven on Amazon restaurants. I mean, is that news to you? Amazon actually had a food delivery service years ago. I talk about discontinued services here. So problems before the delivery. So you and I, we're going to go over these problems here. I'm going to give my input, but hey, I'm certainly not saying that this list is exhaustive. I'm not saying that these are all the problems. Obviously, this is not all the problems. I've just really, again, summarized some of the biggest ones, some of the most common that I and you have probably experienced. So the premise of this channel is it is a team. I'm just one person. So let me know your problems as well. If you don't see it listed here, try to shout it out in the live chat. I'm seeing you guys in the live chat or the comment section if you're watching this in the replay. And especially if the comments, if it's a really common problem, make sure to like that comment so it can rise to the top of the comments so we can see it here. But buckle in. Let's start answering some of these problems here. So let's check out some of these problems before you're even making a delivery. We're going to go down this list, and again, before, during, and after the deliveries here. So number one, what happens if you don't even qualify? I mean, I can't even get on the app, man. I don't qualify. I'm too young. Maybe there's something on my background check. Or maybe I don't have the vehicle requirements. How can you even get around that? That is tricky. There's some things that you can't get around. Okay, number one, if you're too young, make sure that you're really uncovering all of the options possible. So let's say rideshare, right? Rideshare, you have to be traditionally 21 years of age or older. Some of these other apps that deliver alcohol, you got to be 21 years of age or older. But if you don't qualify because of age, there may be other kind of niches in their app that you do qualify for. Sometimes walking delivery, sometimes scooter delivery. If you can't use the vehicle for whatever reason, again, you don't qualify. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Is being a walker delivery fun? Is it the most ideal? No. This of course varies by marketplace. I've done walking deliveries. I'm telling you, I'm coming to a place where I'm actually doing this stuff, guys. But I've done walking shifts. Feel free to search those videos. And I did it in really the most picturesque area you could think of, San Diego, California, literally 5 steps from the beach. And it still was a pain because it was a whole lot of walking. But how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to grind away to have a side hustle to make some money? Or you can, of course, apply to a regular 9-to-5 as a 18-year-old, a 19-year-old. Background check. If there's something on your background check, typically a major moving violation, a DUI, you're automatically disqualified. I'll tell you that right now. There's really no way around a DUI. You'd have to, work with your own DMV, see what the laws or regulations are to get that expunged. I don't know. I'm not an attorney. That's not legal advice, okay? But other things on your background check, if you have tickets, if you have other violations, you may get approved eventually. I had a ticket in, it was 2011. It seems like forever ago. Yeah, it was 2011. I talk about this on the Uber app. It was a reckless driving ticket. Dumb mistake, right? Forever ago. Stupid. And I was driving an Uber and Uber Eats, fine. And then randomly I got deactivated because they reran the background check. If you didn't know that, a lot of these companies, they may rerun the background check. Now I'm deactivated, but I was still active on Lyft. It was a whole weird thing, right? But later, randomly, and I did a video on this, I got reactivated on Uber. The thing was still on the record. It had since been, was cleaned as much as it can be. But there are ways to get around a declined background check. So what I would do is I would drive on other apps and see if you can get, tacked on later with that on there as well. Vehicle requirements, if you don't qualify, again, rideshare is a great example. A lot of these rideshare apps, you have to have a newer vehicle, 10 years or newer, let's say. If you got an 11-year-old vehicle, you don't qualify. But you might qualify for food delivery. So consider that. Now with food delivery, you have the flexibility of really using most any vehicle, as long as it moves, as long as it has 4 doors. Obviously, look at the requirements. There are, of course, requirements and insurance requirements. Moving on. Here's a big problem that I see. I hear about this all the time. Let me know if you've ever experienced this problem, especially if you're new. Man, I want to make some money. I don't want to wait. I want to make some money today, like tomorrow. Why is my onboarding taking so long? Or my background check. Why is that taking so long? Okay, so here's your expectations for that. Generally, a lot of these companies use Checker. It's a third party that runs these background checks. And those background checks are typically going to take between anywhere, I think, 1 business day. It can be pretty quick. I've experienced like 3 business day turnarounds, but I would expect up to a 10 business day, a 2-week turnaround time on those background checks. Here's what I would do if you're having problems. If your background check is running like 2 weeks, okay, after I'd say the 10 business days, you wait 2 weeks, not following Monday on the 11th business day, I would reach out to probably Checker. And I believe I've done this in the past. And you reach out to Uber or Lyft or DoorDash. They're going to point you, generally, they're going to point you back to that background check company. In this case, usually it's Checker. So that's what I would do. On business day 11, I would reach out to Checker. I'd say, hey, what's going on? Because, it's a tech company, what have you. So there's certainly problems and things can get snagged in the process. Sometimes you got to be the squeaky wheel. No provided gear. Problem number 3. Guys, this is all before making a delivery. Definitely drop a like if you're getting value in the training today. And hey, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We are approaching what, 35K, 36K? Absolutely incredible. It's been a massive 2020, 2021. I really appreciate every single one of you being a part of the team here. No provided gear. Does that really matter? Can we be frank? Does that really matter if they don't provide you any gear? It does. In my opinion, it does. If you plan on doing this for more than a month, okay? If you want to do this for a month because you got a vacation next month, you want to just knock out some deliveries in 1 month, then no. I mean, you don't got to go on Amazon. You don't got to buy anything, in my opinion. But if you're doing this literally for more than a month, I would spend like $10. I would spend some money. If you're doing this for 3 months or longer, I would spend the $40 on a nice catering bag. I would spend the money on a nice wireless phone car charger. Frankly, if you're going to be doing any driving, I'd get that car charger anyway. But I mean, it's dual purpose, right? You're going to be driving anyway, hands-free, it's smarter. But the gear that you should invest in, 3 months minimum, if you're going to be doing this, is one other hot and cold bag. It's like what, $8 or $10. If you're doing this again for more than 3 months, get the catering bag. It's like $30, 35, $40. It's, you know, that price because it's quality, just straight up, you know, it's good quality. It's going to fit the bigger bags. Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Outback, some of these places, they have like comically big bags. I don't know why. You know, I'm carrying like this like 2 foot long bag. I'm trying to put it in my like 12 by 12 hot and cold bag, you know, it's like stupid big, and you get the catering bag for that because it looks super professional. Again, if you're going to be doing this 4 or 5 months, consider getting a pizza bag. Another great investment there. Looks like my webcam froze, which is interesting. Let's try to refresh this for you. That's a first. Nothing like a live stream. Yep, absolutely. Just tanked on us. So let's do this. Let's quit that webcam and we will edit this in post, friends. And hey, sometimes you got to roll with it, guys. Just like when you're on the road. Speaking of problems, we have a problem today with the webcam. First time that I've had this happen, but let's roll with it. Are we back? I think we're back. Boom, there we go. Excellent. See that? We just roll with it. We just keep going here. So to land the plane on that point, I would get 1 month, a hot and cold bag, 3 months or more, a catering bag, and or a pizza bag, and then obviously the other accessories. If you want the best accessories, go to my Amazon storefront. It is linked down below. I do get a small commission from any purchase. If you don't want to support me, just go to Amazon, man. It's fine. It's fun. I'm not going to hit his Amazon store and make some money. I'm not good. Either way, but I would appreciate if you click on that Amazon storefront because frankly, I've used all of those accessories. In my opinion, they are the best. There's no bonus pay. There's no extra pay offered on the app. So for instance, literally, this is before the delivery. So if I go into DoorDash, if I go into Grubhub, Uber Eats, and there's nothing going on, how do I solve that? Well, firstly, you need to understand how these apps work. They say themselves on their own websites, these are driver and market specific bonuses. And also, in my opinion, I mean, these are algorithmic. So it's based on real-time supply and demand, especially for Uber Eats, where it's literally real-time bonuses insofar as surge, and that's their per delivery bonus. So if your apps aren't offering any bonuses, I mean, there's only so much you can do here. I would download as many as you can. I would cross-compare. I was just looking at this the other day. You know, I was looking at Uber Eats was doing like, I don't know, a Quest bonus, which is their grouped batch bonus. Complete 60 deliveries and receive $315 extra. Well, guess what? This past week, 60 deliveries only paid $140 extra. It tanked from $315 to $140. You're gonna have this happen because I mean they don't want to pay you a ton if they don't have to pay you a ton. Cross compare to try to get the most bonuses possible. A slow or non-responsive app, I would say, again, this is before you're making a delivery. If you're online, it's slow, it's non-responsive. Make sure you're turning off Wi-Fi, because even, I mean, I don't know, if you're waiting in a plaza, even if you're waiting at home, if you're driving around and you tend to use public Wi-Fi, you know, Starbucks, what have you, your phone may be pinging off those Wi-Fi spots, trying to connect, and then you keep driving, and then it can't reach the signal anymore, and then it disconnects, and then it jumps on LTE. You can see the problem there. Now, if your marketplace has really bad LTE, if you don't have any bars, you may have to develop some kind of hack there. I don't know if you can get a range extender, what have you. I don't know. I'm not that techie. Or starting from home. I mean, again, you're going to have to do some hacks there. And this is exactly why we're talking about this today. Nextly, before we move on to during the delivery, I'm actually going to break down problems during the delivery into 3 parts. One more problem here. This is before the delivery. No available shifts. So you might see this on, let's say, DoorDash mainly, because Uber Eats, there's no shifts, right? You just go online. Postmates, well, I guess Postmates is now really being discontinued. Check the recent video on that. But Postmates had no shifts. Now, Grubhub has both. It has shifts, and then you can go online immediately. But technically, going online immediately is getting you the kind of secondary orders. Whereas if you're scheduling the shifts, those drivers get priority. So what happens if there's no available shifts at all? Well, number one, I want to understand when these apps are offering the shifts. You know, Thursday at 2 p.m., whatever it is, right? Sunday at midnight. Understand when the shifts become available. And if you have to, especially if you're doing this to support yourself or your family, you might want to make sure that you're online, that you're, well, not online, but you have the app open, ready to go when that shift drops. I mean, I see this a lot on Amazon Flex, which is package delivery. So you refresh for available shifts, they just disappear, you know, because I was in San Diego, there was a demand, I guess. It was, you know, pretty decent paying. So drivers were grabbing that shift. So to best set yourself up to grab shifts, you might want to do that. Now, if it gets so bad, we've seen this on Instacart. There's been controversies around Instacart shifts. Our shoppers, in this case, you know, it's shoppers for grocery on Instacart. Are shoppers using batch grabbers or shift grabbers, you know, hardware or software that's automating that shift claim, take, whatever, right? If you see it get to that point, I would, again, I'd be the squeaky wheel. I'd reach out to support that said, hey, this is crazy that I'm online, I'm looking at my app as soon as you release shifts and they're immediately disappearing. Why is that? I just put some pressure on them. And if they get enough drivers like Instacart was or maybe still is experiencing, then it kind of puts the heat to look into this, look at what accounts are possibly grabbing those shifts illegitimately and taking some action there. Hey, if you're getting value in the training today, can you definitely smash the like button, because we're going to move on to our 3-tiered, what am I saying? A 3-tiered section? I don't know. I'm breaking this section down into 3 tiers. There we go. During, firstly, the problems with the app during the delivery. And then problems, I mean, probably the thing that comes to mind most is problems at the restaurant. And then get this, something that maybe doesn't come to mind as much, problems with your actual customer. Because I've had problems with the actual customer. So let me know. I'm going to take a sip of, we got some cold brew with some super creamer today. So let me just take a sip of this. Let me know where you're watching from and if you're sipping on any coffee. Absolutely delicious. Using the newly redeemed stainless steel Starbucks mugs. Pretty nice. I know it doesn't really mean anything, but I want to let you know that apparently. Problems during, number one, with the app. Okay. So if you're using these apps, I mean, what is it with these apps? It is a tech-based thing. It's literally we're tying our work to something that we're completely relying on that is tech-based. And there's no manager's office. There's no brick and mortar office facility. It's all on the phone, right? So what happens when there's glitches, when it's not showing a normal information? So we've seen this on Uber Eats with getting a delivery. There's a black screen, okay? It omits the images of the map. Usually the starting and the ending destination, what you can see as far as the route. Restart the Uber Eats app. What happens on DoorDash when, I don't know, there's freezes, it logs you out? This is trickier. In my opinion, DoorDash is more prone to crashes. Let me know in the live chat or the comments if you agree. But there's only so much you can do, right? Restarting the app, try to log back in. Here's something that you can do though. If your DoorDash app is crashing, is it glitching? Here's what I've done. Is obviously step one, right? Have you restarted it? Have you tried to re-log in? Okay. After that, if you continue to see error messages that specifically that may say this operation cannot be completed, and then there's an error message, that's typically what it says on DoorDash. This operation cannot be completed, and that can happen at any part of the login screen, of going online, or if you're getting a delivery request. We're focusing on DoorDash now, and you see an order request come in. I'm clicking on it. I want to accept it, and nothing's happening, and you miss it. Sometimes that same order request comes back in. I'm going to click it, or I'm going to click decline. Nothing's working. Your app is glitching. DoorDash may be down, or it probably is down in your marketplace or nationwide. Then I go to Twitter. I go to Twitter and I search, is DoorDash down? Or just hashtag DoorDash down to see if other drivers are experiencing the same thing. I'll go to DoorDash's official Twitter page to see if they've announced anything. I go to Down Detector, which is a website that just does that. It detects outages. I'll do all of those things to make sure it's nothing on my end, because the more that I kind of play with that app and assume it's working when it's not, I'm wasting time. Let me repeat that. The more that I just mess, with a glitching DoorDash or whatever, and I'm like, what am I doing? When actuality, the app is down. And again, I check Twitter, I check wherever. I could just jump on Uber Eats or Grubhub and take some orders as well. I think that's a huge power hack. Unfortunately, just in case you didn't know, you are not reimbursed for any lost pay as well from DoorDash. Traditionally, at least at the time of filming this video. So you can't even count on getting any pay because typically you won't. I have heard sometimes they'll do that, usually over holidays if there's a big events and it crashes, but you cannot count on that. Next, let's move on. Simultaneous requests or accidental accepts of requests. Again, right now we're talking about problems during the actual delivery, specifically with apps. Let me know if you're getting value in this. Definitely, again, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Okay, so I'm getting simultaneous requests. Why could that be a problem? Well, if you're new, you might be concerned about acceptance rate. Don't be. It can't be deactivated, reprimanded for a low acceptance rate. That's obviously the percent of times that I'll see a prospective order and then I actually accept versus decline. Don't worry about it. Okay, what if I've had this happen. What if I've accidentally accepted something? And that doesn't necessarily have to be on a stacked request. I guess usually it would be, because what I mean by this is, thank you so much, Uber Eats. Let me know if you've experienced this pain, but on Uber Eats, I'm finishing a delivery and I'm pulling in and I'm zooming on my app. I'm clicking to see the address. And as I'm clicking, a new order request comes in that I didn't even write, just boom, The finger's already coming down. The thing pops off, and I accidentally click accept when I didn't mean to. Okay? Don't be afraid to cancel it. If you end up looking at that order on any app, you have generally a 20% leeway for cancellations. On DoorDash, your completion rate needs to be 80%. So the percent of times that I actually accept an order and complete it needs to be 80%. So obviously, you have leeway for a 20% cancellation. I would never cancel close to 20%. Just between me and you, I would not risk your profile on any app to cancel 20%. I cancel like less than 1% of times. It's got to be an emergency or an accident. Pretty much that's it. Or some other odd scenario where I can't complete it. Reserve your cancellations. We just talked about this. So don't be afraid, accidentally accept. Or you've accepted one and you get a better order immediately from another app. You might want to cancel that first request because you just accepted and you're reserving your cancellations. I hope that makes sense. This next one is a pretty big one. Let me just let's take another sip of Starbucks here. Yeah, I feel the pain. Gig IQ says I accidentally accept orders all the time. I don't like it. I don't like it. And what you can do on DoorDash, you can say stop new requests. So I'm on assignment and you can literally click on stop sending me new stuff, DoorDash. I'm busy enough. On Uber Eats, you can do that. You could do that. I've been clicking all over the place. I cannot find, I hope they didn't remove it. Let me know in the live chat or the comments where the button is. I know it's there somewhere on Uber Eats to stop new requests. Anyway, this next one's a big one. This next one's a huge one. I don't see this talked about nearly enough. Suboptimal stacked order assignments, AKA the order of assignments. So listen to this. On DoorDash, I have a stacked order, which is 2 or more assignments for one driver. So in your Dasher app, you click on I think it's the 3-line menu, but you'll click on your Dasher app and you'll see the order of your deliveries. Deliver to Sam first and then Jill second. But what happens, I've had this happen. What happens if Jill is literally right there and then, what was his name? Sam? Jim? I don't know. Sam, right? Sam was way over there, but he was first. Jill's right here. Why would DoorDash have me deliver to Sam first? Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining as a VIP. Jamie just accessed exclusive new content for VIPs, badges, and emotes. Appreciate that, Jamie. Welcome to VIP status. Sam. Thanks. 007 says it was Sam. Okay, point being, why would I drive to Sam first when Jill is like 100 yards ahead of me? I have had this happen. And I had probably my angriest customer ever when I did this on DoorDash. I delivered, and here's me. Oh, yeah, nice San Diego weather. I'm having a great night. This is great. It was evening, and I walk up to his steps, and I'm like, oh, I appreciate you being out here, or I appreciate you waiting for me out here, is what I usually say, when they're standing at the door waiting. I appreciate you meeting me out here. And he says, why did you just pass me? Well, why did you take that route? You literally passed me, and then you came back to me. And I was like, this is just what DoorDash assigns me. And I learned real fast that assignment, that order of assignments, isn't always the best. It doesn't always make the most sense. Are they trying to, have me finish in my same general area? Because DoorDash has you driving in different segments of the marketplace. So they may say, Sam's a little further away. Well, we're just doing you a solid. We're just bringing you back into the zone. When logistically, it doesn't make any sense So you can manually go in there and change the order delivery assignment on DoorDash. I just had this on Uber Eats. You can't really do that as easily on Uber Eats, at least to my immediate knowledge. I'm trying to remember here because I had something similar. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but we need to move on. Oh, distracting stacked orders. We just kind of talked about this. We'll just move on from this. But again, if you're getting stacked orders that are distracting as you're finishing a delivery, go in there, click on stop new orders on DoorDash and stop new requests on Uber Eats. Again, I'm assuming that button's still there. Let me know. This is why we're a team. This is why we're a team, friend, because there's a lot to manage. There's a lot of different apps. I don't claim to know absolutely everything in the industry, but we learn together. And I do help you with my experience as well. Okay, we do need to move on. So those are the problems with apps. Here's the big one. Let's talk about the problems at the restaurants. And there's a lot of them. We're going to try to be a little more succinct here because we still have to talk about a few more things. Long wait times at the restaurant is number one. I guarantee this is probably the number one problem that you're going to experience. Lines in drive-thrus. Okay. You need to be, you might need to be a little less accommodating if there's a big line. What do I mean by that? I remember going into popular restaurants and there's a line at the register for people to place orders, to place takeout orders, or to pick up their order, or to get a table. These are customers. These are not couriers. These are not food delivery drivers. Don't wait in the line. Don't wait in the line. I would stand right next to the register. This is why you have the bag, right? I have this big emblazed red DoorDash bag or whatever. You can go to the Amazon store. You can get a regular bag as long as you have a bag. They'll know you're a courier. Don't wait in that line. And there's been times where I've waited in the line because I was too nice, and a staff sees me like, no, what are you doing? Come here. Like you're picking up. Come here, right? They want to get that delivery in and out. You don't have to wait in line. So if there is a line, again, cut it. Cutting infers you're cutting in front of people. I wouldn't do that, right? Just butt in front. I would just stand literally right next to the register at the counter, and I always kind of make my bag visible. And again, you gotta just have to kind of get some attention there. Drive-thrus. I've heard, really, I had a driver tell me that they would cut in the drive-thru. I don't recommend that. I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good look for me. So I would usually wait in a drive-thru if it's not too bad. That is completely up to you. Do not wait in a drive-thru that's like 8 cars long. I just talked about this in a video. I saved my cancels, right? For situations, I didn't even turn in. I just immediately canceled and kept driving. It was too many cars. It's not worth your time. So that's up to you. I mean, obviously you want to use the in-restaurant dining area if possible. Items out of stock. I had this happen yesterday. I was a consumer. All I wanted was a soda, and my soda was out of stock. So in the common courtesy, right, the driver called me asking for a substitute. Clearly, that's what you're going to do. Calling's the fastest way. I know it's not. I mean, some of you may not like calling, but if you want the fastest response, try calling. And obviously, if you can't reach them, text. If you still can't reach them, I would say you might need to make the executive decision. I would call, I would text again and say, hey, I haven't heard from you. Just as a reminder to my previous message, they no longer have the Mountain Dew Code Red. Since I haven't heard from you, I've substituted a regular Mountain Dew. Because frankly, your time's valuable. I mean, you cannot wait there for 15 minutes waiting for them to get back to you. It's their fault. They should be expected in any way. Give them some courtesy. Yeah, I'd wait 5 to 8 minutes. I know it's a pain, but you know, you got to do the customer service aspect, but there also comes a point where your time is valuable as well. I wait maybe a maximum of 10 minutes. I wouldn't wait any more than that, and I would make an executive decision. If this is a restaurant and it's like a side, again, same thing. Call, text, maybe call again, text again, and say, hey, I got to make a call here. We've substituted whatever, coleslaw instead of mac and cheese. You get it, right? No parking, not a real timeout. I know that if you're watching this in the background, if you're watching this at a later date, if you are getting value in this training talking about the biggest problems as a food delivery driver, can you definitely hit the like button if you haven't done so already. If you've already done it, I appreciate that. But it really does help in the algorithm because, we're here on YouTube. So, and again, if you want exclusive content, custom badges that actually evolve over time, like Pokemon, shout out if you remember the OG Pokemon, and emotes, different ways to stand out as well, really joining in our circle, click on that join button down below. No parking and not easily accessible, or the restaurant name's not found. Get this. I had this happen a lot in San Diego. It's a massive area, massive city. And sometimes there's just no parking. What are you going to do? This is tricky. I would not ever block entrances or exits, ever. You think it's going to be an in and out. The thing could have even been marked as, hey, this order is ready for pickup. Never do it, because it's going to be extremely embarrassing. Or worst case scenario, your luck is going to have a cop come by and give you a ticket, right? Or worse. Never block entrances or exits. Double parking, same kind of thing. You're taking a risk there. If it's in a parking lot and cars can get around you and you think it'll be quick, I'm real with you here that sometimes, you might need a double park, put the four ways on, and watch your car like a hawk to make sure that the person's not trying to. I've had it. I've delivered at apartment complexes when another delivery driver double parked me into the spot. And, I see him, he comes running out. Oh, sorry. Because we're all busy. I don't know if he knew I was a delivery driver, but real life happens. There's things like that. And, I wasn't mad. It's like, whatever, it's fine, man. But when you're dealing with those plazas and whatnots, consider that. The safest option is I've parked a little further away. So I've had it where if I'm in this plaza and then there's a wall of restaurants and then there's another plaza, I've parked in that other plaza because there's openings. I just walked, 50 yards to my plaza for the pickup because frankly, that gives me the most peace of mind. Let me know if you agree. If you're a risk taker and you want to double park, if you want to, again, don't obscure the flow of traffic. That's the worst thing you can do. But if you want to double park, if you want to take that risk, that's up to you. But the most peace of mind, I get most stressed out when I'm parked, when I know that I'm double parked and I'm like, all right, now there's a delay with the pickup. Now, if I'm parked on like a commercial curb or a red curb and you have your four ways on, again, I get it. Real life happens. Use your own discretion. I'm not advising you to break any traffic laws, okay? Use your own discretion. Be smart and be safe out there, of course. The last point there about the name not being found, it may be a virtual restaurant. So I'm literally standing at Sam's Pizza Kitchen, but it says, Coronado's Pizza. I'm like, it's the same address. Google Street View says this is it. It may be a virtual kitchen, which means they're just contracting out their kitchen to run their business. I had a pizza place in La Mesa, California that had I kid you not, 4 different virtual kitchens run out of it, and the storefront, the sign literally just said pizza above it. So keep that in mind as well. Too many items, especially if there's a long walk back to your vehicle. The bag, I'm telling you, think about that scenario that I just told you about. If you have to park a little further away, that's fine if you just have a bag. But what if it's a pizza with breadsticks and sauces and they wanted extra sauces? And you got the little cheese and little chili flake packets, right? And it's windy. You're trying to balance this and you're trying to walk back to your vehicle. Yeah, I parked a little further away. It's uphill, uphill in both directions, right? Get those accessories. I can carry it all nicely in a bag, a catering bag, a pizza bag. Makes it easier. Are you seeing the next one? Did you know that this was a problem? What happens if the order was picked up by another driver? Let me take a sip of, we need another sip to think about this one. What happens if you get there and they say, we gave it to another driver? It was assigned to somebody else. Hey, thanks for being here. Paul asked a great question. Does anyone take a risk of leaving their car running while picking up an order? I do. Yeah. It depends where I'm at. You know, I'm here in this a nice area of Pittsburgh, a smaller city. It's a little, mini plaza. I might do that. I'll do it more so on a delivery when I'm making the actual delivery versus the pickup. In San Diego, no, I wouldn't really do that. Downtown, obviously, never. I mean, frankly, I won't even lock the car a lot of the times. I mean, that's just probably a bad habit, but that I don't advise you doing. But for leaving the engine running, especially on Amazon Flex for package delivery, absolutely, I would leave that engine running all the time on Amazon Flex. Again, I mean, be smart, okay? Don't paint with too wide of a brush there. But yeah, if an order is picked up by another driver, it's gonna happen. I've had it a few times. Maybe it's gotten better, but again, these are tech apps. There's problems. The only thing you can do is message support. You can message support if you don't want to cancel it yourself. Say, hey, the restaurant stated that they gave the order to another driver. So support on any app, they're going to cancel it for you. Again, if you don't want to cancel it yourself, then you can cancel it yourself and be on your way. I would request pay as well. DoorDash is usually better than Uber Eats with paying you for inconveniences, just in my opinion. I have had that happen though. You can't get the staff's attention at the restaurant. And yeah, I know it isn't good to not lock the car. Wait, nope. There we go. Yeah, not a good habit. Maybe I should change that. Maybe I'm too trusting here, but generally knowing the good areas of your city, I'm not too worried about it. Can get the staff's attention. Why is this important? Like I mentioned, if there's a line at the restaurant, you got to get the person's attention. I mean, even if you're introverted, you don't even got to say anything. Carry the bag, right? Carry the bag. It says, hey, DoorDash or Grubhub, right? And again, get the attention. I would go to the register, put the hand up. Excuse me, it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna have some people ignore you. If it looks like a runner, just someone working in the back, you can kind of tell, right, who's a runner, a cook, what have you, maybe. What if the restaurant just received or even didn't receive your order? I would use your best judgment as far as time here because your time is valuable. Hey, we just received that order. It's for Sam. Let me look. Yeah, we just got it, man. It's gonna probably be 10 or 15 minutes. That's up to you. I had a scenario in Pacific Beach, gorgeous beach area of San Diego, where the guy ordered 2 separate orders at the same restaurant, right? He just forgot an item. He wanted to tack on another pizza. And they said, yeah, his first order is ready. We have his pizza, but it looks like he added another pizza later on. And we just got that. And then they said, if you want to deliver the first pizza and come back, we can do that. Excuse me. Or you can just wait. For your time, you really don't want to deliver, have to come back, and then re-deliver to the same customer. It's kind of a pain. Now, I called, just as a good customer service thing and say, hey, what do you want me to do? Luckily, he was pretty chill, and he said, you can wait for both to be ready. But generally, if they just got it, use your best judgment. If it's 10 minutes, I might wait. Well, I probably will wait because I got to find another order anyway. I got to drive to that restaurant anyway. And then I got to wait, assuming, hopefully it's ready, but I might have to wait there as well. So I will wait, like 10 minutes or so. If I'm making a lot of money that day, that week, I may even wait 12 minutes or more because I'm chilling. I'm making good money, right? Especially if you're just doing this as side income. But if they're telling you, I mean, that thing's, I got 10 orders ahead of you. I just got it, man. It's gonna be like 15, 20 minutes. I would probably cancel. You know, if they say 15 or 20 minutes, it's probably gonna be like 20, 25 minutes. So I would cancel there. There we go. Hope you're getting value in the live stream today, which is absolutely live because I can't talk apparently. Maybe the magic cold brew will help me out there. Okay, so that's problems with the restaurants. Let's move on to well, actually I have a few more here. Closed restaurants, mark that in the Dasher app. DoorDash generally will pay you like half pay, some of the pay for that. There's actually an option in there to mark that, why can't you do this delivery? You can mark restaurant closed. Payment card declined on either a order and pay on Uber Eats or a shop and deliver on a DoorDash. The same kind of thing. Reach out to support. Those cars are pre-authorized with funds. They may need to reset it. They may need to add more funds. Worst case on DoorDash, I've had them literally say, hey, pay with your own money, and then email us the receipt, and then they'll reimburse you. And they've done that immediately. As soon as I send them the screenshot with the receipt, I explain what's going on, they've reimbursed me. And in fact, I have a whole video on that if you want to check that out. Cool. Nextly, during the delivery with a customer. Something else that is not talked about a lot. Problems with the customer making the delivery. You need to know this just to avoid like the awkward scenarios that I had with that guy waiting for me and saying, why'd you take that route? Firstly, part of my order is missing. Matt had this the other day. He is in the live chat, your driver team, Matt. He's talking to some of you. Definitely subscribe. New videos from him every Thursday over at your driver team, Matt. Also post videos here on the channel. If you like his content, definitely check out his channel there. But he had this. He said, I made the delivery, and then the customer said, hey, man, half of my order is missing. Come on, man. Half my orders. What are you doing? What do you do? Firstly, understand it's not your fault, especially now. See, what do I mean by that is there could be an argument that's it's your fault, man, if the bags were unsealed. You're supposed to check my delivery, dude. I mean, how did you miss half the items? Listen, now with everything going on, with most every single restaurant sealing bags, you do not open those bags. That is pretty much against terms of service. So you say, I apologize. Unfortunately, I'm unable to really check the contents of your order because it's sealed. And then solve, you want to bring a problem, right? You don't want to just bring a problem, you want to bring a solution, I should say. What I recommend is reach out to support. They'll don't guarantee, right? Reach out to support. Most likely they will reimburse you. They will, right? Most likely they will reimburse you for the items that you're missing, and then they can help you place, or they'll recommend that you place another order for your missing items. Again, I apologize that it's not with this order. Again, I do apologize, but that's what I'd recommend. And it's hands off. You want to be hands off. You are the courier. You're literally kind of that middleman. I'm making the delivery, man. I'm not preparing it. It's not my job to queue that order up. It's the restaurant's job. It's not your fault. Make the delivery and get out of there. So again, the way it's going to go is, hey, I'm missing part of my order, dude. You know what? In Matt's case, it was like half the order. Hey, I apologize. Unfortunately, with everything going on here, I mean, these bags are sealed. There's no way for me to verify the contents. What I recommend is reach out to support. Most likely, they're going to reimburse you for the missing items. And they'll also help you place a new order for the missing items. Again, I apologize. That's it. They're going to be upset. I mean, they may still think it's partly your, but literally when the bags are closed, they're sealed. They're going to, I mean, they're just angry. They're not mad at you necessarily. They're mad at the situation. And mistakes happen. So that's the best way to handle that. Talking about our guy that was mad with me, why did it take so long? Or why'd you take that route? I should probably mute that because you probably don't want to hear me drinking coffee, right? So I told him, and if you're just joining, a customer complained, he was really mad, that I passed him making the delivery on a stacked order. I delivered to customer A, which was past him, and I had to come back to deliver to him, customer B. And he's like, why'd you go that way? You literally passed me and you came back. He was not happy, understandably. So here's what you say to that. You say, I apologize. I absolutely understand how you're frustrated about that. I follow the assignments that DoorDash gives me or that Uber Eats gives me. And again, I do apologize for that. That's basically all you have to say. I mean, you don't have to explain it too much. So again, why'd you take that route? I apologize. I absolutely understand how that would be frustrating for you, especially if I passed you on the app. I simply follow the assignments, the order of assignments that DoorDash gives me. And if they continue to complain, you can say, well, the first customer, if I deliver to you first, it's shorter distance, but maybe that other customer was waiting longer than you. Maybe they placed that order before you by 15 minutes. So I'm sure you can understand if you were waiting an extra 20 minutes, how that could be pretty frustrating as well. And I think I said something to that effect to him. I said, I'm just following the assignments that he gives me. They may have ordered first, blah, blah, blah. Again, you don't want to stand there explaining too long. Apologize and move on. Can't find addresses, houses, apartments, etc. I guess this could have gone under the app section. We'll just go over this quickly. I use Google Street View to verify what the building looks like, especially at night. I'm kind of sitting by it. I'm like, is that it? 123 Apple Street, which is a little Easter egg. I always use that as the kind of the dummy address when I'm obscuring customer information on the channel here. But is this 123 Apple Street? I'll go to Google Maps and it shows me a picture of the building. Okay, yep, that's the right one. I mean, apartment complexes are tough. I had a lot of that in San Diego. There's the Beans app, like the vegetable, right? Beans app that is GPS for apartment complexes. Caveat, I haven't really used that a lot, just really on a surface level, but I have heard that's pretty popular. It's, again, literally GPS for apartment complexes. Obviously, campus maps. I've looked at complex maps as well, and I've tried to find at least one building number. So if this is building 2, is this building number 3 or is it number 1? Because then that gives me the pattern of their layout at least. Okay, I'm standing in front of building 3. I need to deliver to building 5. Is this number, again, 1 or is it number 3? And I'll kind of get an idea of which way to head there. Access issues, gate codes, security, getting into facilities. A lot of these apps, they should have the gate codes on there, but for whatever, I don't know. Let me know if you feel the same way in the live chat in the comments. Leave a like on this video if you've experienced this pain. But I feel like gate codes are always changing from what's listed because I always punch in the gate code that's listed. It never works for whatever reason. And they're like, oh, you got to hit the pound before. You got to hit the pound after. You got to hit. I do it all. And they're like, oh. And then, we're both surprised it didn't work. But obviously, call or text the customer, right? If someone comes out, I mean, clearly, then you can just get in, right? I've had that happen before as well. I think that's pretty straightforward. Alcohol ID verification is something else that isn't really talked about a lot here on DoorDash especially. I haven't really had this on Uber Eats. Not sure if Uber Eats does that. Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Yeah, True F Light says hit the call button. Yeah, you can do that as well. Hit the apartment number if it has that. There's a whole gambit. Sometimes, there's a concierge in some of these nice apartment complexes back in San Diego, right? Something. I would not call random apartments. I wouldn't Christmas tree, right? I wouldn't Christmas tree the whole thing and just buzz all of them to hope someone lets you in. I mean, some people do that. I don't like doing that. But anyway, alcohol verification, that's tricky. That can get your account deactivated, okay? So you gotta be careful with alcohol verification. Obviously, checking for intoxication. All of my alcohol deliveries have been pretty seamless. Obviously, you need a valid ID. Look at the ID, check for intoxication, look at the images, clear stuff, right? Make sure that they're over 21. I've had no issues with that. I just wanted to mention that because if you do have anything that seems shady, underage, intoxicated, it is your responsibility to decline that delivery. Another problem that we've been seeing recently with this is a tough one. What happens if it says, hand it to me or meet me at the door, but no one's there? They're ghosting you. This is very tricky. This is another thing that can get you actually flagged on DoorDash with their contract violations, with reports of customers saying that the order never arrived. Lean in for this. Over 100 people in the training tent. Again, I appreciate all of you being here. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, thank you. Seriously. It blows me away. I appreciate the support here. Again, drop a like if you're getting value here, but I appreciate you being here. So if it's handoff and they're not there, it's a rinse and repeat. It's the same best practices. That's why they're best practices. Call, text, and then, well, actually, the first thing you should do is start the timer. What do I mean by that? Well, not, I was going to say every app. Uber Eats and DoorDash have timers that I cannot find the customer. I believe they're both 8-minute timers. You click, cannot find customer, and it immediately starts the timer. It might be 5 minutes on DoorDash. Let me correct me, but start the timer, because after that timer, you can either throw away, keep, or just deliver the items. On a DoorDash, you deliver the items. So if you cannot find them, I've called, I've texted, and they're going to prompt you to do that. If you still can't reach them, then DoorDash will say, deliver in a safe area. I'm leaving it right there in the lobby, man. At the front door, I'm leaving it wherever. That's a safe area. Because maybe they fell asleep, right? Who knows? I've had it happen. And then on Uber Eats, Matt and I had this happen, where on Uber Eats, if the counter runs down to 0, you can dispose of or keep that delivery, which is kind of crazy. DoorDash used to do that. They don't do it anymore. You have to deliver it on DoorDash. But you can get a free delivery in essence. Don't hack the system. Don't manipulate the system. Follow the steps. But it's a little benefit if they, and that's on them. Again, if you deliver, if you pass out, come on, man, that's on you. That certainly does happen though. Well, awesome. Moving on finally to problems after the delivery. So today we're talking about problems driving on food delivery apps. This has been the gambit of before, during, and after. We talked about the app problems, restaurant problems, and lastly, most recently, customer problems here. Are there any problems after the delivery? Let's talk about that. DoorDash is 5 minutes. Thank you, Jeremiah, for the heads up there. I thought it might have been 5 minutes. Cool. Okay, number one, the pay is not displaying correctly. Any bonuses, incentives, tips, or earnings. Give it time, especially on Uber Eats. Tips are delayed on Uber Eats. I freaked out when I first started driving again on Uber Eats. Give it a good hour after your last delivery, because customers have up to an hour to edit, reduce, or add to their tip. So it's kind of nice on Uber Eats. You'll see those tips roll in, so don't freak out. Bonuses should be immediate as far as quests. So I will go into this, your earnings screen on Uber Eats. Make sure you qualify that you've done enough deliveries. In this case here, you can see 60 trips, and I qualified for that $315 quest bonus I mentioned earlier because I did 60 deliveries there. So of course, just make sure you qualify. That is before you say that the info is not showing up there. If there's any other glitches, if you do qualify and it's still not showing up, rinse and repeat, right? Reach out to support and have documentation. Something I haven't really mentioned yet, screenshot documentation. If you're going for a big bonus, Screenshot your way through it. Screenshot, 20, 40. Screenshot this screen showing 60 deliveries. So you have some documentation in case something weird happens with the app and you're not paid out your bonus. What happens if you're out of position? For scheduled blocks, or if you're driving on an open market app like Grubhub or Uber Eats? That cold brew is hitting the spot. Okay, so where are we? There we are. I'm out of position. So if I'm driving on DoorDash mainly, okay, if I'm scheduled in Central Pittsburgh or Mission Valley back in San Diego, and I had a delivery that pulled me like 10 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, or 15 minutes, here's what you can do. This is what's called the shift audible. So on DoorDash, because I'm scheduling a shift in a certain section of my marketplace, this is not an open market app. I have to schedule a shift in a certain section. This is specific to DoorDash here. So if I'm now 10 to 15 minutes outside, well, firstly, that's on you and me, right? You've accepted that order. You should have an idea of where the borders are for that section. So keep that in mind. Pay attention to that order request screen to see if it is pulling you out. But if you happen to get pulled out anyway, a shift audible is, okay, do I think it's busy enough in my new zone? Because I got pulled into a new zone on DoorDash. If it's busy, if I feel like it's busy enough, I can end my current dash back in Pittsburgh, and I can go online in my new zone. Now, it's a risk because you can only dash now if it's busy enough. And that's when your market segments are red versus gray on DoorDash. And you can't see that when you're on a current dash. So if I think, based on my knowledge, that the new zone is going to be busy enough, again, end dash, and I'm going to audible, which is switch or change. I'm going to change my shift now to my current zone. Or you can go online with an open market app like Grubhub or Uber Eats. You can drive back in to that scheduled zone on a DoorDash and then continue your DoorDash shift. And since you're online with a open market app, you can continue to deduct those business miles because you're intending to do business. There you go. One more point about that. If you are driving an open market app like Grubhub or Uber Eats and you just get pulled out of the busy zone, again, trying different apps to get an order, using a destination filter on Uber Eats to try to get you back in the zone, or simply having some commuting miles to get back into the busy zone. Here's a big problem. So I finished a delivery, but the app doesn't seem to be sending me more requests, especially if I'm nearing the completion of a bonus. So if I'm at 52 deliveries on this quest bonus to the right, why is Uber Eats not sending me any more deliveries, man? I'm at 52, I'm at 55, I need 60. I got like 6 hours left. What's going on? You cannot assume that these apps are targeting you. I hear that. You cannot assume that, they see him at 55 out of 60. They don't want to pay me the extra money. They're going to stop. I get it. I know that's a popular kind of theory, but I've never seen enough evidence of that. I've just heard kind of piecemeal anecdotal stories. Generally, I have never had an app that is consistently trying to block me from hitting a bonus. Chances are it's something else. Chances are you're in the wrong zone. Chances are you have the Wi-Fi on and you have a technical issue. Chances are you're in a low connectivity zone and now you've been pulled to an LTE with 0 bars or 1 bar. If you're driving in a power strip, that's areas that are dense with restaurants, you're driving during a rush shift, breakfast, lunch, or dinner rush, not at 3 in the morning, because chances are most every daylight hour is getting requests, at least in medium to medium large size marketplaces, you should hit your bonus. And frankly, I wouldn't cut it to the wire either. I understand life happens, but try to manage your shifts where you're not cutting it to the wire anyway. You know, like I gotta hit four more deliveries in 60 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it, right? Try to plan out your shift better. And then lastly, new requests that continually pull further out of zone. So if you're getting requests that it's like, man, it's like 10 minutes away, it's 15 minutes away. Something else that I don't really see talked about a lot is and this is such a great power tip to end on, because I don't see this talked about. The only times that I've had consistent requests that pull me like 10 minutes away, right? 15 minutes away, is if I'm on a fringe of the marketplace or a fringe of a power strip. Frankly, it wouldn't even be a power strip. What do I mean by that? So here in Pittsburgh, if I'm sitting on the very eastern side of the Pittsburgh market, because, you know, again, think about DoorDash, the little section. If I'm on the very eastern tip of that, I usually get, excuse me, orders that are pulling even more east. Again, 10 or 15 minutes. Consistently, because those customers want to order from these restaurants and there's no other drivers between here and there, right? Because it gets more rural, so they're going to pull you right here on the eastern tip, and they're going to pull you into that rural zone. Versus if I just waited in a true power strip, really dense with restaurants, then it's dense because there's restaurants. And remember, the ideal power strip is not just restaurants. Let's remember that. An ideal power strip is an area dense with restaurants and people. So in San Diego, I remember the Boulevard. It was this strip of road. It was a long strip of road with all these bars, cafes, and restaurants on them. And then behind that was the residential, you know, huge, well, not huge, but big apartment complexes, tons of them going all down this road, and then houses around that. So it was a really good area to wait. That's ideal, because then I had super short runs, because those people from these houses and apartments are ordering from those restaurants for the convenience. I know they could have just driven there, right? But if you're in a fringe area of the marketplace, you're going to get pulled to the other, you know, more rural areas. So what I would do is I would try to move back into more dense areas where you can get short runs, and ideally have it's so powerful, because those dense areas, they're getting more orders because they have more people, because they have more choices, because they have more restaurants, which means ideally, hopefully, shorter runs. Because of that demand, it's hopefully going to generate more bonuses, especially on Uber Eats and DoorDash, because those are the areas to drive in. That's some food for thought here. So super powerful and a rare 1+ hour training today. Kind of a marathon training. I appreciate it. So if you did get a value in this training today, definitely let me know by dropping a like. Consider joining. I would love to have you as a VIP if you want to join our inner circle. And again, let me know your problems down below in the comments, because again, this list wasn't exhaustive. This was really just some of the problems that I experienced since 2015. Yeah. So, well, I think delivery was maybe 2016, but you get it, right? Since starting my own side hustle in different marketplaces. So I appreciate you being here. If you got value in this training, again, definitely drop a like, and you can also click or tap screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.